Welcome to this next episode of YouTube entitled Wolves Are the Priority, which is one of the reasons why this YouTube is a couple of days late. We've got a cold spell here with 25 to 30 below weather, and obviously Luna's our first concern, so lots of straw going into the enclosures and certainly increase in food that's provided for everybody. You can see here that Luna's doing quite well. She actually is faring much better than I anticipated. They all have cold paws, meaning that every wolf standing on kind of the areas that are heavily compacted are lifting a left foot, right foot, front, back, just kind of really giving a little relief to that extremely cold temperatures. But Luna, like I said, is very good at guarding things, including this straw. And if this is a little unusual, straw doesn't usually stimulate scent rolling behavior, but there was a beaver coat that was donated to the center, and that beaver coat had a little bit of an odor, so somebody had made a coat out of beaver, and I'm not sure why, but it has kind of a strong scent. Well, it was sitting in the garage, which is cool, meaning a non-heated garage, to keep the smell down, but unfortunately it was sitting on the straw bale. When we put the straw bale in for bedding, it get an added stimulus of a kind of a foreign smell to them. So that means when we put the straw in, we usually end up having to re-rake it up, especially after there's scent rolling on it. So here you see Luna scent rolling. Bolts comes over. She's in a little vulnerable position because she's on her back, and he's going to try to dominate her a bit. But Luna is not one to be dominated. She can take care of herself, and they are, again, usually together, Bolts and Luna, and this goes back and forth now. Bolts is on his back, and Luna comes in for a little dominance. And this is Denali, pretty much independent of the pups' wrestling matches, and those are between the pups and usually not the kind of directed dominance that Aiden might have on Denali that the pups join in on. So certainly there's times when Denali's a little less cautious, or a little cautious around the pups, and especially when Aiden's involved. And we don't see too much of a situation of Aiden being involved. I didn't get video of it, but he's actually resting on top of the den and pretty much ignoring the whole situation. So, like I said, 25 below weather is a little concerning. The good thing is the wind quit. We had some wind chills as well, which don't really bother the wolves. It's really those extreme cold temperatures that are, a little bit problematic, and especially for Luna, that metal plate's got some issues with it. We're managing them on a daily basis, 7 days a week, regardless of the temperature. The wolf care staff are in to make sure everybody's doing well. Not a lot of news to report from the standpoint of wintertime, issues. We normally see this time of the year to be a little bit more dominant, a little bit more aggressive, and we're not seeing that this year. And I think just the pups being a good distraction, which is one of the reasons why, we like to cycle in pups every 4 years, makes for a increased activity and kind of new life to the exhibit that was getting a little bit kind of stagnant. And so we see Luna and Bolts obviously giving life to the exhibit and doing quite well. As I said, we do try to give them some extra supplements when it's extremely cold. We've been trying some raw egg and gravy. Tried to sneak in her nutritional supplement, but she's onto it and didn't like it. So that means Grizzer gets to pick up the slack and enjoys what the pups don't have. And you actually hear shoveling in the background. So having pup snacks is better than being predatory toward the shovels. So that's a good distraction for him. But everything's frozen in the bowls. I mean, it could be in the lab 5 minutes ago and it come out and everything's kind of frozen solid. So it does give him a little bit of something to focus on. He gets a new straw bed as well, and goes and does what everybody does, is marks the straw and then scrapes it. So another reason why we're back in there minutes later and re-raking everything up. But otherwise, Grizzer's doing extremely well. We have had really good interactions with him and really good social greetings, and real happy with where he's at. And again, I always worry about being alone and how that affects him, but if there is any wolf that can tolerate being alone, it's probably Grizzer. He's not nearly as keyed into the social dynamics of the other wolves. Certainly he watches it, and he runs along the fence line with in his own territory, but he is one of those that seems to be far more attractable to the human dimension of the wolf care staff than he ever was with any of the other wolves, with the exception of Maya and possibly Shadow. He had a pretty good relationship with Shadow as well, but not so much Malik, and we do still see posturing against the fence there. So once the sun comes out, that's the nice thing about these sub-zero days, is the sun will come out. As long as we give them a warm, insulated bed of straw, laying in the sun is actually quite comfortable. A lot of people have a hard time believing that we... So I'll leave you with a clip here of Shadow, who stimulated a howl. So that's it for this week's YouTube. Thanks for watching, and we again wanted to report really good dynamics with the pack. Aiden's nose is completely healed, resting comfortably. Bolt's a little suspect to Luna, because Luna's a little bit of a dominant sometimes, regardless of who she is meeting. Denali is, again, very watchful and interacting quite well, and Grizzer is just Grizzer. So, again, everybody's doing well, and thanks for putting up with the delay in the YouTube, but keeping these wolves warm, safe, and dry is our first priority. So have a good week. See you next week.